All right, we're going. We're going.
Just you and me. Now there's someone.
Sorry?
There's someone here.
I still didn't hear you.
You have a guest.
Woohoo! All right. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I set up the live stream on desktop, and I didn't know, because I'm inexperienced at doing this, that you couldn't access that on mobile. So I'm using the mobile app, I'm using my phone. Usually when I shoot my YouTube videos,
Oh.
this is my camera that I shoot all my YouTube videos with. It's a Nikon 1A1, and unfortunately I don't have a computer out here, so I wouldn't be able to connect this to my computer. I make too much of a mess to have a computer out here. I know Costas didn't care about his computer. He was spraying some paint and getting wood shavings all over it. But yeah, so welcome to Cammy's Garage. I'm Cameron Porter. I am a full-time studio artist and a content creator for YouTube and Instagram. I am primarily an artist, and the lathe is my main tool. I do a lot of carving, not just wood turning. Luckily today I have my lovely and talented assistant, Lori the Maker, behind the camera to help me. So, as I was thinking about what I was going to do today, I wanted to make a project that I could do from start to finish, and right from a log to the finished piece. So I decided that I was going to do a letter opener. So I have this piece of, actually, ambrosia maple. You can see the ambrosia in it. It's basically a piece of firewood. This was an offcut from a slab that I've used for a different project. And I'm going to turn this into a letter opener, or a knife, depending on how you look at it. But Cammy's Garage doesn't like to make weapons. So I'm going to call it a letter opener. Anyway, I'm going to start over here on the bandsaw to basically take this bark off, because that's going to fly off if I start turning, and take a little bit of the material off, so I don't have to take as much off when I am turning. But as you can see, this ambrosia goes through the middle here, but not on the end. So I'm going to taper this a little bit, so this will be the point of my letter opener, and this will be the handle. So let's get started on that. Lori is wearing my safety glasses, so I'm going to wear my fish head. Y'all see, there's a bug hole in there too. I don't know how that will affect my final piece here. And actually, I was mistaken as to where the ambrosia went through. This actually goes this way, not that way.
Someone commented that they thought your blade sounded dull.
That's because it is. My blade is very dull. I bought some new blades and never put a new blade on the bandsaw. That bandsaw is actually a gift from a fellow woodturner. I went for a long time without having a bandsaw. All I used was my Japanese handsaw to cut things most of the time, or my chainsaw back there. And he said, look, someone else gave me a bandsaw. I'm going to pay it forward and send you, he offered it to me. I had to drive to Pennsylvania to get it. But I'm very thankful to Truck Turnings. So if you're tuning in, Marty, thanks again so much for this bandsaw.
For the latecomers, what are you making?
I am going to make a letter opener from this basically piece of firewood. It's actually a piece of ambrosia maple. So if you have a lathe, basically anyone can do a project like this, because it's a small piece of wood It's short. It could be an easy project to give to a family member as a gift, or anyone as a gift really, because it can be done quickly from a small piece of material with, from by in one little lathe basically. So I'm going to start by using my spur sound in the end here. Where'd my rubber mallet go?
Oh, so are you having troubles hearing him? Is that what you're saying? Someone said the audio, they thought the audio was a little quiet.
Yeah. I'll try to talk louder. How about that?
Yeah, I wonder if the microphone is on the back side. That's where I am. Okay.
Okay. Probably. This is a 3520B Powermatic lathe, 2 horsepower. This is, as I said, my main tool. I know not everyone can afford a lathe like this, but we waited for months to get it on sale. We got it for about 30% off when the new model came out, the C mod. So I'm just going to line this up here. Ordinarily I would wear a face mask, but just for this demo, and because I'm talking, I'm not going to wear it. I'm also not going to sand it too much, but I will wear my face mask, or face shield. Dang, okay.
So the only thing I can think about is turning it around.
Okay. Apparently there's audio problems. How about you just handhold it?
Microphone's on this side.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't, can you turn it around? Because I don't know on YouTube how to do it.
See this little button here?
Yeah. Right.
Hey! So apparently there's some audio problems. We're trying to get that fixed. Because the microphone is on this side, hopefully this will work better. What to do? Can you move the camera in so you can see what I'm doing here? Okay, so I don't have a spindle roughing gouge, so my main tool is this 10 mil bowl gouge. This works just fine. Eventually I'll probably buy a spindle roughing gouge, but I'm kind of stingy that way. Sorry, you want to stand to the side a little bit?
So I can't read your comments.
Right. So we've got it spinning at about 1200 RPM right now. I'm just going to make it round. Yeah, I don't have the multi-camera setup that a lot of the guys had from earlier. I also have difficulty, I can't read the text, so thanks everybody for commenting. Unfortunately, I can't read them. Sorry guys. pretty close to round. I'm doing it faster than I would normally just for this demo. I'm also probably not going to be doing any sanding, just for ease and speed. But now that I've got it kind of round, I'm going to start making my design and being a little more careful with my cuts because I'm tearing out the grain right now. I'm just kind of free-forming this right now. This is going to be the handle, and this is going to be my blade portion. Switching to my spindle gouge for the final cut. Great. There we go. So this is going to be the profile of my blade.
Tell them again what it is for the newcomers.
This is going to be, for those of you that just joined, this is going to be a letter opener, as I said earlier, or it could be a knife depending on your perspective. But it's just a simple design, and I'm going to end up embellishing it a little bit on the handle with the rotary tool. So right now I'm just going to cut off the top and the bottom with my handsaw. I'm going to shape this with a disc sander, so it's not really important. Okay, so that's that. Nice simple design. Knock this out of here. Put on my disc sander. I know not all of you have something like this. I made this myself with a piece of MDF and face plate. This just goes on here. I also have a platform that I made for it. You can find the video for this on my YouTube channel. It's an older video, but if you want to check out how I made this, you can look back in my feed to find it. I'm not going to use the platform though. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shape the blade and make it thin just using the disc sander. Let's see right there. Turning at about 500 revs. I'm okay. Everything's okay. So you can see that's, as you can see, it's getting pretty thin, pretty quick. That's what's so great about this sanding disc, is you can do work quickly. Longtime viewers will know that I'm partnered with Unita Abrasives, and they provided me with these giant discs, as well as other abrasives for the shop. So thanks to Unita. Getting there.
So you essentially kind of make it thicker in the middle and thinner on the edges?
That's right. So I'm curving it a little bit so it sort of has a bevel on both edges, on both sides. So it's thicker in the middle than it is on the edges. As you can see, it's getting pretty sharp right there. I've seen people sharpen wooden knives sharp enough to cut vegetables. I probably won't do that demo today, but I could probably cut a potato with this, or like a green pepper or something. So I think that's probably good enough just for this demo. That's what it looks like right now. So I'm going to head over to the workbench. Hopefully you'll be able to follow me.
How's that?
Can you get it a little closer? Okay, cool. So I'm going to use my rotary tool here just to take off the sharp edges from where I use the disc sander and just make this a little more curved. And I'm going to put some texture on the handle. But first, I think maybe Costas would be happy to see some fire. Just going to scorch this handle a little bit. Woo. That's good enough. That looks a little more interesting, I think. I actually meant to round off the back, but that's not a big deal. So like I said, I'm not going to be doing any sanding on it today, but if I was to finish this, that sanding disc that I just used is 60 grit, so it left a pretty rough surface here. So I would go back with some sandpaper and just sand it nice and smooth and put some finish on it. I'll probably just put some oil on it today. But let's make this a little prettier.
Someone suggested scorching the edges might make the blade stronger.
Just might. Okay, so I smoothed out this transition a little bit here, so it's a little bit smoother. I would, like I said, I would come back here with the sandpaper and smooth this out a lot better, if I had more time, of course. But
23 minutes.
yeah, we're only 20 minutes in, so I might have some time. Like I said, I was just trying to come up with a project that I could do in under an hour, and you might enjoy a little break after, so I might end a little bit early. But yeah, now I'm going to put some texture on this handle. Now, longtime watchers will know that I'm partnered with Sabertooth Carving Bits as well, and this is their Whisper bit. And as you can see, it's, which side is the camera on? It's their finest bit that they make, and it gives a really smooth, nice surface. However, because it spins this way, if you drag it across the surface like this, it may leave grooves or marks, striations. Whereas if you pull it this way, it leaves a nice, much smoother surface. It's difficult to hold it that way. Like a
then I go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm just making this up as I go along. You are free to use your imagination if you want to try something like this. You can put different designs, try a bunch of different designs. I basically just made this out of firewood. So if you have some firewood lying around, you can experiment to your heart's consent. And you don't need a lathe for this either. This can be carved by hand with just a knife or an axe even. I don't know if you could get a nice thin blade like this. You might be able to with some work. Obviously anything can be carved from wood. Wood is such a versatile and wonderful material to work with. It's one of the reasons why I like it. So I don't think I'm going to bother sanding this, but I do have something else that I can show you. So this is a spoon blank that I made for a demo a while ago at my local college, and I never finished it. I just did it super quickly. As you can see, it's really, really rough. Just to demo how I could make a spoon. So this particular one has, has a round handle. However, you can make 2 spoons out of this simply by cutting it down the middle. Let's try that.
I can't get there. Okay.
And there we go. 2 spoon blanks now. So now I can just go back to the rotary tool and use my carving bit to scoop out the middle of this spoon. Maybe let's do that. I'm actually going to switch to a more coarse bit.
Show them your little thing inside the screen.
Yeah, this is my collection of bits. Most of them are saber tooth. They have the whisper bit, which was the white one that I just showed you. The coarse is green and the medium is yellow. I have a nice variety of different shapes here. This is a good one. It's kind of like a cutter. So if you want to be more aggressive, you can use this one, which I'm going to try right now. Oh, we're only half an hour in.
Jeez. Lots of time.
Lots of time. See, I did this too quickly. That's what happened. I just want to show you guys what's possible. Just the guys earlier today made some wonderful bowls. I've turned a lot of bowls myself. Unfortunately, people aren't interested in my bowls. They're interested in my art pieces and things like that. So people seem to be interested in useful objects as well. So spoons, I just said people aren't interested in my bowls, but when I made a few spoons, a lot of people liked them on Instagram. Sold a few, but I don't make, I'm not interested in manufacturing things. like spoons. The occasional spoon as a gift for someone is okay. So I'm going to try to hollow this out a little bit with my little bit. Okay, so that's as far as I'm going to go for right now because I'm not wearing a face mask. I normally always wear a face mask, but just because I'm doing this live stream, I don't want to talk at the camera. That's why I'm not wearing my face mask. But you could spend as much time as you like being careful to scoop all this out and make it nice and smooth. Obviously come back and sand it because this is looking pretty rough. But I just want to, like I said, show you guys some different techniques and things to think about for projects, easy projects that you could do. I wanted to show you different tools, things like that. I would say, are there any questions? I'm sure there have been lots of questions already. Unfortunately, I have difficulty reading the tiny screen.
Talking about links.
Okay.
Do you have questions for Cam?
Yeah. What else could I show?
I thought you were skateboard.
Oh yeah, right. So I have a friend in town named Larry Reeves, and he uses a lot of skateboard wood, and I managed to scrounge some skateboard scraps from him. I think it might be interesting to see if I could turn something like this out of the skateboard scraps, because we still have about 25 minutes. Yeah, so here's a piece of skateboard wood that I got from Larry. And I'm gonna cut this down the middle and make 2 blanks out of it.
Stuck. If you go back a few days in his Instagram, he visited Larry's shop, and you can see how Larry puts together that wood.
Actually, a good video to see. Go back on my feed a little bit, a few months ago, to the baseball bat video, because that's kind of proud of that video. Larry and I collaborated on that video, and it's kind of a good demo on how he makes his blanks. nice and tight. So much like the other one, I'm just gonna turn this into, make it round and then just make a design as I go along. Just make it up as I go. That's how we do it here in Cambridge Garage. We don't make any plans, we just make stuff up.
He's the king of winging it. Oh, he's making a letter opener.
What's so funny?
Someone making jokes.
Oh, okay, good. Good. Is that round enough? No, let's look at a little bit there. This one's going to be a lot simpler, I think.
How does turning the ambrosia maple compare to the skateboard wood?
Skateboard wood is made from hard maple. Ambrosia maple is soft maple, so there's a significant difference in the density of the wood. Well, not significant, but a noticeable difference for sure. Plus, because this is laminated wood, it has the grain going in different directions, like plywood. So it can tear out pretty easily if you're working with it. So you have to be careful. Like I said before, I'm being more aggressive than I would normally with the tool, just for speed, and this for the sake of this demo. So I'm just going to cut the ends off again with the saw.
Would you normally put that in the vise?
Yes. Yes, I would. I would normally take much more care when doing these things, but I'm doing it the way I'm doing it, just for the sake of speed and this demo. But that looks pretty cool, huh? You can get some pretty cool effects. So I'm thinking about how I'm going to make the blade, because if I orient it this way, you can see just the normal colored wood is in the middle, but if I make the blade this way, it will be fragile and probably fall apart. So I don't know how I'm going to make the blade here. I'll probably have to make the thin section so it's crossed
Down.
through this way. So it's crossed this way.
The giant sander's back.
Back to the 20-inch sanding disc. Okay. So actually, I might make this end my handle, so when I make the blade, these pieces of colored skateboard bits will be. So you see where it's curved there. If I make the blade so it's running down through there, I might have a better chance of getting this color on the blade.
What RPM?
I spin it at about 500 to 600 RPM. Anything higher than about 600 or 700 RPM is kind of dangerous. I fear it may fly apart. So this is going to be my handle. I'll make my blade on this side.
What grit? 60,
This is 60 grit.
60 grit.
That's where I know it.
It-
Actually, this is 40 grit.
Oh, okay.
I have 40 and 60 grit. Thanks to Yonita for providing me with the sandpaper.
And so to make the taper of the blade, you're putting more pressure on the tip.
Yeah, so as you can see, it's getting a little thinner at the tip of the blade than down on the bottom. So you have to leave a little bit of a thicker portion in the middle, otherwise it'll be too flimsy. Now, the way I've done it here, this portion may break off because of the way it's laminated right here. You still got 15 minutes.
Someone says 40 grit's not grit, it's pebble dash. Is that what I think it is?
The thing about using 40 grit on here is I use it for shaping. I don't use it for sanding. I use it to shape things like this. So that is getting pretty close. That is getting pretty close to where I want it, at least just for this demo. It's pretty rough because, like I said, it's 40 grit. So I'm going to go back with the Dremel, the rotary tool here, and smooth this portion out.
How are we doing there? Yeah.
Well, that's good enough for this demo. But you can see the color in there. Looks pretty neat, huh? So ultimately, I would sand this, obviously, so it's nice and smooth. You can get a pretty sharp edge, especially with hardwood like this. And there's a letter opener. There's 2 letter openers. And I'd probably use either just a wax finish or an oil and wax or lacquer, spray lacquer. And wow, it's getting warm in here. Not as warm as Costa's place at 35, but I think it's over 30 Celsius here. But I might as well just end it up there. We've got about 10 minutes left. But I want to say thank you to Carl and JP for putting this together, and I'm really honored to be invited to participate in this. I checked out all the makers earlier, except JP because it was 5 a.m. when he started. Sorry, buddy. But thanks. While I'm here, why don't you give me some questions now that I can actually read the screen? Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Ali Hubby. Thank you, Doug. Reject, I'm gonna hope that you meant project. Oh yeah, okay, project, yeah. Yeah, so anyone have any questions about anything that I've done here? Feel free to check out the other videos on my channel. I have over 300 videos, I think, now. I do a lot of carving. I've been doing some carving lately, a lot of wood turning. My older videos were a lot of bowl turning from wood. I use a lot of reclaimed wood in my work, at least I used to. These days now I'm getting, more commissions, although it's been slower this year. I've been buying wood. It's worth my while now to purchase wood from the lumberyard. I'd love to swap stickers, so if you go to my About tab, you can get my email address over there. It's camiesgarage@gmail.com. So email me if you want to swap stickers. How to make my sander. There is a video about how I made my 20-inch sander from my lathe. So you can find it on my feed somewhere. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in. Sorry I couldn't actually read the comments. Thanks a lot, Carl.
We'll figure
And
out
thanks
the
everyone else.
audio better next time.
Yeah, we'll do better next time for the audio. I was very impressed by the feeds earlier today, where everyone had multiple cameras and the microphone on the mouth and everything. I was like, I am low brow over here. Yeah, just using my phone, but yeah, so things are looking good for the rest of the day. I wish best of luck to the other people that are coming up. Next up is Scott Grove of Imagine Grove. So make sure you head on over to Imagine Grove, I think it's Woodworks. Just search for Imagine Grove or Scott Grove. You should be able to find it. Thanks, Costas. I put that fire in just for you, buddy. Hey, Levi, why don't you come in, buddy?
Yeah, come here.
Come here, shop dog. get you to say hi to Levi. Levi, come. Levi the shop dog. Hey, buddy. No, it's fine. I like to keep him outside. I don't normally keep him in here because of the dust situation, obviously. I don't want him breathing in all that dust. But I guess I will call it there and give you guys time to take a break before Scott's demo. I'm looking forward to watching his because he's very talented and very imaginative when it comes to his designs and his work. So make sure you check him out. Thanks again, everyone. Well, hopefully, if you're interested in seeing more live streams from me, let me know, and we'll see about setting those up. So take care, everybody. Make sure you check out the rest of the makers today. Peace, love, and equality.